Welcome back once again, peoples of the year 2021. I have returned from my time travelling and have checked back to report on what is going on in the world. If you're a little lost and you maybe haven't watched my prologue, I have now uploaded that and I've stuck it on my Twitter, which I've now completed. That's at Morlock Soup. That username is a bit of an inside joke. I wouldn't read into it too much, but I've got a Twitter, so you can follow me on there for the updates of what's happening on our current timeline and maybe give suggestions. If you're a little lost, the gist of it is, clearly you probably have sensed this, we're on the wrong timeline. You know, something's not right. Somewhere we just went off course. Who knows who or what is responsible. But somewhere along the way, things just started to go wrong and we've entered a timeline we never should have been on in the first place. So, as a time traveller, it's not just a fun name. I do travel through time with the use of my machine. I thought I'll head back, adjust a few things, and hopefully through the butterfly effect, we'll get back to the timeline we should be on. So I actually went back to medieval times and shifted a cow 2 inches. I didn't think it would cause that much difference, but unfortunately, you can see I've made things worse. I mean, if there was ever evidence we were on the wrong timeline and had entered into a ridiculous universe, this is it. A civilization in 2021 having all these problems, this whole giant trade cock-up just from a ship that has got stuck in a canal. I mean, it's cartoonish. I suppose we've all been there. Certain lads might know about getting stuck in the tight back passage. Sorry, that's 19th century humour from my original time. That's probably considered very crude for your refined modern tastes. I apologise for that. I'd like to retract that from the research record. As you can see, yeah, if we were any kind of in the right direction in any way, we wouldn't have Priti Patel's eyebrows trending up. I mean, I know they do trend up. Obviously, she puts a lot of work in to do that. That's the problem. She's spending 77,000 on them. Actually, that is an improvement because she used to spend more than that, I believe, in my research in the last timeline. There we go. It's well, speaking of crudeness, it turns out her minge wax is what will bankrupt her. So she's obviously, in this timeline, taken more money to put towards that wax job, which, yeah, that's definitely made things worse. So that's one thing I've got to correct. The reason I'm doing these video logs is so that it's very hard to track a butterfly effect and the changes that happen. So if I record it and report all the effects I have by changing things in the past, I at least can start to correlate what's in the right direction. But yeah, it seems like things have not improved. Here we are, yeah, Bristol protests. That's another thing. This whole deal, the government has decided that they take a leaf from Labour's popularity. You might remember at the last election, it seems that Labour had a very popular technique of having, you know, a certain amount of just decent stuff, sensible things people could get behind, improving public services and tackling inequality and tax avoidance, and then just some wild card stuff about real vague powers over speech, which, oh boy, if you ever want to be popular with the public, have vague laws about how you're going to punish certain speech. That will go over a treat. And it seems Conservative Party wanted to try and copy the fame and popularity that Labour earned through that at the last election, and have decided to introduce some vague laws about protests and how they'll be treated and what exactly qualifies as breaking the law. And it seems people are pretty upset with that. As you can see, a lot of violent scenes erupting of very aggressive, gentrified Bristol students just laying into these delicate, defenceless cops who are cowering in fear and running around from it. I mean, there's a lot of ministers, politicians, political commenters saying They really hate seeing all this violence. And it does make you think, is there some way this could have been avoided? Is there some way that all these protesters saying, please don't pass this bill, could somehow be compromised with? It's hard to think of anything, really. I suppose all you can do is just keep passing that bill. If only they had some kind of message that they were bringing with them, other than just senseless violence. If they had some kind of particular, maybe like a 3-word hashtag they could put across of exactly what they want. But all they've got is this cryptic, kill the bill. What could that even mean? Who's to say? So unfortunately, the violence will be continuing. Yeah. If only someone would know what they want. I don't think there's really much else I need to show that I'm going to have to go back and change things, because if anything, things have not improved. It seems to have got worse. But hold on. Harry, Meghan and me, my truth as a royal reporter. Oh, maybe they don't have virus problems. I did notice a lot of reporting on the royals, so it might be that... No, because they got the virus here. So they're reporting on the deadly virus and the royals. Well, I suppose it is holistic, and that's what I came to Twitter for. Prince William being awarded a new honorific. I don't know if this is in line with the royal family's usual ascendancy, but he's been named as the sexiest bald man on the planet. He's not really totally bald, though, is he? Could not the sect of bald people object to that? Isn't that appropriating their oppression? I mean, look at this. How would you know this man's bald unless he's labelled it? It's practically a full head of hair here. This is surely a case of stolen valour, and I can only imagine much worse riots than we've seen in Bristol are going to erupt. You know, sometimes I think the accolades that the royals display, I do wonder whether they've earned them. I do wonder. Still, we'll see if we can improve things and maybe get a less royal-centric universe if I go back and flip a few switches and change a few things again. And I'm sure when I come back, we'll be right back on the right timeline. You know, I didn't think I'd fix everything the first time round, but I'm going to travel back in time, change a few things around, and hopefully the butterfly effect will bring us right back on track to the utopian society that we once had. In the meantime, if you do want to follow my Twitter I've just set up, I'll be putting my updates there, and if you've got any information that might be useful about our current universe and how maybe things I should go back and change, let me know. Until then, be careful with where you're driving, folks.